Welcome everybody. This is going to be game number 2 of RootDdoro. He is the Protoss in the top left going up against EGLzGamer. Evil Geniuses versus, I think, Complexity. Forgot to go ahead and check that until just now, but we're going to see a cool game.
Yeah, that is for sure. EGLzGamer, a great player, but did lose the first game as a Zerg player, as you may know. LZgamer switched from Terran over into Zerg, and at the top left corner of the map, like you've already said, RootDdoro spawning as the purple Protoss, winning game number 1 with a very effective expansion. And I'm assuming we're going to be seeing another one now. He did plant that forward pylon, so we will be seeing possible fast forge expand. But once again on this map, I mean, this map is very useful for that. So I'm quite curious to see how well LZgamer will use this to his advantage to take down his opponent. I don't think he's going to do a one base, but some sort of some sort of strong attack would really help him out here.
Yep, and you'll notice that this is MLG Tyrant Altar, so it's basically similar to the Blizzard version where you do have to kill these destructible rocks at your third, which is unfortunate in these spawning positions because Zerg would really love to be able to take this as their third immediately. It's going to have to use lings or roaches or whatever he wants to break these down before this third can come into effect. Same is true for Protoss, but we can see that Ddoro did throw down his early force, so he could theoretically stay on 2 bases for a while and maybe do a very strong gateway unit push, just like he did in the last game. As with the way that warping works, the distance doesn't matter. In fact, in a way, the longer the distance between the two players, the greater the strength is, because the more likely your opponent will be unprepared for it.
Yeah, that is very true there. And to go on that little point there, I mean, there is some Zerglings out in the field. He did spawn 6 instead of 4, LZgamer did, but I mean, Ddoro, if he can take this expansion, hold it off with a couple cannons, as you see the cannons going down right now, because this is beautiful. He saw those Zerglings. He knows they're headed straight for his base. They have a freaking beeline going towards it, and we have a gateway, a pylon, and a photon cannon being warped in. This is going to hold up perfectly. He's actually trying to wall us off completely, and there you go. Those Zerglings can't do a single thing to that expansion.
Yeah, now LZgamer actually hasn't scouted Ddoro yet, so he went to the top right first. So any chance that he had of doing damage with this little Zergling pokin is going to be non-existent. Because we can see the full wall-off is there. One cannon with a full wall like this, and there's no chance Zergling's army doing anything unless you have 8 bajillion of them. And since he doesn't do that, he's going to go ahead and lose at the very least 1 Zergling, 2 Zerglings. For free, and he sees this wall off. The main thing that he's actually benefited from is see how late the Nexus is. That's where it comes from. Last game, the Nexus was before the hatchery. In this game, they're both at the same time. So even though it seems that LZgamer was behind in economy from doing all this ling shenanigans, it actually makes him even instead of behind.
Yeah, and actually a cool thing that RootDdoro did, he actually canceled his gateway once those Zerglings left the base and switched out for a Cyberman X-Core. LZgamer might be thinking that he is not going to have tech anytime soon, but that is not the case. He's actually getting 2 simulators down to pay for mass sentries, and I believe it's going to be the same story as in the first game, but even better for Ddoro, because this is a long distance. He can actually mass up his units very quickly, and these rocks on the third expansion for LZgamer is going to affect him big time. It takes 4 lings, or 6 lings in this case, 1 minute and 30 in-game seconds to take those down, but he's not going to go for those right now, so it's going to hurt LZgamer a lot. He cannot take that third expansion anytime soon.
Yep. And now you're talking about the gateway instead of a cybernetics core. That's actually a common technique to make sure that you have the wall off in play, because you're not going to leave the hole where the cybernetics core is supposed to be open for links to run by. You have to plug it up somehow. And a gateway is the easiest thing to do because it has more health than a forge. If a forge had more health than a gateway, you'd put a forge in that spot instead of a gateway. It's all about what's the most resilient, because it's even better than 2 pylons, or 1 pylon in this case could probably wall that off. It's all about what you can get away with, and canceling it, you get a bunch of the minerals back anyway.
And these Zerglings are just going to be right outside the base. See the cybernetics core, and if you notice, a lot of the buildings show if they are actually researching something. So if LZgamer has paid attention to what buildings do, which I'm pretty sure he has. I mean, he is a pro gamer. You'll see that Cybernetics Core is researching the warp gate technology as we speak. Of course, since that gateway isn't open, so that means warp gate isn't finished yet. But yeah, right now the Queens are going to be putting larva on. I love the creep spread because finally LZgamer is going to be connecting his bases. I'm quite curious to see how effective it's going to go into play later in the game. If he'll make a full creep bridge into his opponent's base, it is a long distance, but always fun to see that when the Zerg player does that.
Yeah, I know one of the great players at doing that is actually Morrow, and we saw Moman in the TL Open do some great creep spreading. That was definitely nice to see, even on a map like Metalopolis, where usually you have those two pathways that you can cut down the creep very easily. It just wasn't done. He kept spreading it. It was very impressive.
And now we have a little bit of a forward pylon planted at the south edge of the second expansion of Ddoro, just so we can drop some units down below. Also scout and see in case of any like Zerglings popping into the base. There's a little bit of leg there. Looks like Zyro-E, the other caster, might have to end up leaving later in the game. So LZgamer gives the kind of a dot, but not exactly.
I think it's supposed to be the dash face.
Dash face.
That face.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
And okay, good. So we do see the creep spread going towards his opponent's base. He's actually going to be spreading it towards these rocks. So there's 4 lings on there. That's going to take about 3 in-game minutes to kill those rocks. Very useful info to know. Thanks, Day 9. And yeah, so we have quite a few sentries right here. So this is going to be very effective later in the game. One of the sentries looks like they were unfortunately on the outside when they got warped in. Do you have any idea if that was a mistake? Or
No, it was on purpose. He had it rallied over there for some reason. But we are seeing this 7-gate once again, which I'm actually very curious about. It might even be stronger because he still warped the sentries inside his main base. This is going to allow him to get probably 2 rounds of warpings before he actually does the attack, which could be very deadly. I mean, LZgamer's droned up a ton. He still has 7 drones in production right now. You can see he's up at only 3 ahead, actually, at the moment. But we're seeing Blink being added into this 7-gate, which is going to be very effective. We can see that the army is now officially outside of the base of Ddoro as he goes ahead and starts moving by the watchtowers.
And now we see that there's no units here, but there is a massive amount of units, though, that were just outside of the range. Going to be moving straight up into the base, but these 2 cannons will thwart that off, no problem whatsoever. But this 1 or 2 stalkers or 3 stalkers here are going to get caught off guard. Or not. So LZgamer is going to be pulling back. He probably just doesn't want to get sniped off and lose those Zerglings. He needs to use them in the full force defense to defend his bases. As you can see, you did go for that 3rd expansion, and the creep spread is looking amazing. Fortunately, Ddoro did snipe off that one that was creeping in the north. And so right now, LZgamer knows that there's an impending doom coming, pretty much. And there's actually infestors coming out on the field.
Oh, that would be great if he can get those off. I don't think does he have pathogen glands quite, or did he immediately go for the infestors? Where is that infestation pin? I need to click on it. And yep, he does have pathogen glands. Very nice. He's got infestors out on the field. This is going to be possibly what he needs to defend against this. A few fungal growths and those sentries are dead, and those saugers are very, very heavily damaged. Ddoro's looks like his delayed push is going to allow him to get an observer on the field, and there's the first fungal growth. There is a blink on the field. This is going to be very interesting. The proxy pylons are farther away because of the creep, but he's going to be able to get more and more and more pylons as forward as he can. And once he starts killing off his creep tumors, even more. But the 3rd base is out for LZgamer, and there's a proxy pylon down there on the left too. Oh, this is going to be very hard to deal with. And there is Ddoro to try and snipe off the infestors with those stalkers as he comes in, doing a lot of damage as these guys are continuing to be super aggressive. The proxy pylon and those force fields in the zealot are causing all of those links to go ahead and do absolutely nothing. Oh my god.
Yeah, Zealot finally goes down. That was a Trooper Zealot. I believe we got about 6-7 kills in that entire attack against those Zerglings. And look at this. It's a massive amount of Zerglings. Fungal growths did go down. Sentries are very low on shields, but not health. And it was actually tipping in Ddoro's favor here. He's going to be able to move forward. These infestors are completely depleted of energy. They don't have anything left. He's sniping off all the creep tumors, which is going to really help him out here. And EGLzGamer says his lings have the downs, and he gives the GG and leaves the game. LZgamer